Ned knew Catelyn would hate it and didn't want to needlessly antagonize her when there was no political necessity in legitimizing Jon. Usually bastards are legitimized when there's no one else left, as in the Boltons case and, before it got sidelined, the Hornwoods. But for Ned to have Jon legitimized when he had legitimate children with Catelyn would be read as an insult to her. Hello everyone, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any new updates on your favorite TV series. Ned knew that Jon was in fact not a bastard at all and thus not in need of legitimization, and knew that Jon being legitimized in the Stark succession as his son might overcomplicate things if and when Jon ever found out who his real parents were. First, Catelyn would have been furious. Robb is supposed to be a few months older than Jon, I think, but they were close enough in age that Jon could have presented a real threat if he were legitimized. Second, Jon's bastard status kept him from being involved in any sort of political intrigue. Ned knew the best way to conceal the son of Lyanna and Rhaegar was to claim him as a bastard and hide him under everyone's noses. Remember when Baelish disguised Sansa as his bastard daughter, and she asked why she had to be a bastard? It's because it's rude to inquire about a man's affairs. If Ned said Jon, who looked a hell of a lot like him, was his bastard, everyone would shrug and carry on as normal. Not everyone, though. Stannis definitely had an inkling that Jon was not who he seemed, during that scene with Celis at Castle Black. But again, it's rude to ask about a bastard child. Legitimizing Jon Snow would have brought about questions. Jon Snow as Jon Stark doesn't make sense from Ned's perspective. This honorable man breaks his wedding vows and has a bastard child, and now he wants to legitimize him? When he has 3 sons of his own. What the hell? Nobody ever does that. The noble thing for a man to do is to make plans for his bastard son to be raised. It's actually pretty unusual for a man to bring the bastard into his home, as it's considered an insult to his wife. Ned did it out of honor, which did make sense for his character. The usual thing would be to have the child fostered elsewhere. Robert did that, with his one acknowledged bastard. Edric Storm was raised at Storm's End, and Robert had Varys send him a name day gift every year. Legitimizing the bastard is highly unusual. Roose Bolton did it because he needed an heir. Aegon the Unworthy did it because he was crazy, and it led to chaos. A man generally doesn't legitimize his bastards unless he has a damn good reason to do so. It comes down to 2 reasons. Catelyn would have been very upset, since Jon could challenge her trueborn sons for their claims. It would have brought about the exact kind of inquiry that Ned wanted to avoid. He behaved exactly how everyone would expect him to behave, if he'd had a bastard child. The explanation for why he broke his vows was that he was in a war and didn't know if he'd return to his wife ever again. It was acceptable. Because Ned was such an honorable man, people would expect him to own up to his mistakes and raise the bastard himself. But an honorable man doesn't legitimize his bastards. By requesting the king's legitimization, Ned would be legally acknowledging that Jon is his biological but illegitimate son. Ned is an honorable man. He's already claimed Jon as his bastard for Jon's own protection. Drawing more attention to Jon puts him at greater risk. It breaks Ned's promise to Lyanna. Robert believes some commoner named Willa was Jon's mother. While we don't know the specifics of Jon's legitimacy nor the exact wording of Lyanna's request, we can assume that it was a request to raise Jon safely and away from prying and grasping eyes. Also, this is an even greater insult to Catelyn. She brings up the Blackfyre rebellions, and this has the hallmarks of the rebellion. Suddenly Honorable Lord Eddard petitions Jon's legitimacy, long-faced, dark-haired, grey-eyed, quiet, honorable, strong. He's better at swords than Robb, though Robb is a better lance. She already has anxieties and insecurities that she unfairly takes out on Jon because of the threat he plays and the betrayal he represents as a bastard. Imagine if he were legitimized. He'd suddenly seen a contender against her Tully-looking children. It would be a declaration of Ned's preference over his more southern sons, and northern lords might look to Jon as an alternative to Robb, like the Blackfyre rebels did with Daemon. Hell, some sneaky and sly lords might spread that Catelyn's kids were illegitimate save for Arya, hoping to curry favor in case a Blackfyre situation occurs. All of this would sow dissent in the north, go against Lyanna's wishes for Jon and Ned's promises to his sister, and would be an atrocious insult to Catelyn and House Tully. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.